Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the only thing standing between you and the life you dream about is one belief, just one, not your age, not your education, not your background, not your circumstances. One belief, the belief that you can and will get it. Think about that for a moment. How different would your life be if every morning you woke up with absolute certainty that success was not a possibility, but an inevitability? How would you walk? How would you speak? What risks would you take? What goals would you chase? The truth is, the moment you believe you can, you begin to unlock power that has been sleeping inside you all along. Have you ever wondered why two people can stand in the exact same situation, face the exact same challenge, and yet produce completely different results? One person sees an opportunity and moves forward with confidence, while the other sees obstacles and stays exactly where they are. What creates the difference? Is it talent? Is it luck? Is it intelligence? The answer is something far more powerful. It is belief. Long before success becomes visible in your life, it must become real in your mind. Every achievement, every breakthrough, every extraordinary accomplishment begins with a simple but powerful decision to believe before there's any evidence. Most people have been conditioned to believe only what they can see. They tell themselves, once I see results, then I'll believe. But success doesn't work that way. The greatest performers, leaders, entrepreneurs, and athletes in the world understand a principle that separates them from the crowd. They know that belief comes first and results come second. If you wait for proof before you believe in yourself, you may spend your entire life waiting. The people who achieve remarkable things are the ones who choose confidence before certainty and faith before evidence. Think about it for a moment. Every building you see around you existed first in someone's imagination. Every invention that changed the world started as an idea that nobody else could see. Every successful business began with a vision that existed only in the mind of its creator. Before anyone applauded, before anyone supported them, before there was any guarantee of success, they believed. They saw possibilities where others saw limitations. They trusted their vision when nobody else understood it. Here's the challenge that stops most people. They allow their current circumstances to determine their future expectations. They look at where they are today and assume that's where they will always be. They mistake temporary conditions for permanent reality. But your current situation is not your final destination. It is simply your starting point. The fact that you haven't achieved your goal yet does not mean you never will. The fact that you haven't found success yet does not mean success isn't on its way. Every great achievement in history was once considered impossible until someone believed strongly enough to make it happen. Imagine waking up every morning with absolute certainty that your goals are achievable. Imagine approaching challenges with the confidence that every obstacle is simply part of the journey. How differently would you act? How much harder would you work? How much longer would you persist? Your actions are always influenced by your beliefs. When you believe something is impossible, you unconsciously hold back. You hesitate, you doubt yourself, you look for reasons why it won't work. But when you believe something is possible, your energy changes, your focus sharpens, your determination increases. You begin searching for solutions instead of excuses. The mind is incredibly powerful because it constantly looks for evidence to support what you already believe. If you believe you are capable, your brain starts noticing opportunities, resources, and possibilities that were always there but previously invisible to you. If you believe you cannot succeed, your mind will focus on problems, risks, and limitations. The difference is not the world around you. The difference is the lens through which you view it. Many people underestimate themselves because they focus too much on their past failures. They replay old mistakes, disappointments, and setbacks until those experiences become the foundation of their identity. But your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Every successful person has experienced failure. Every champion has faced defeat. Every leader has encountered rejection. What made them successful was not the absence of failure. It was their refusal to let failure destroy their belief. The moment you decide to believe in your potential before the results arrive, everything begins to shift. You start taking actions that others are afraid to take. You begin pushing through discomfort when others quit. You continue moving forward when progress seems slow. And eventually, what once existed only in your imagination starts becoming reality. Because when belief becomes stronger than doubt, stronger than fear, and stronger than temporary setbacks. Success is no longer a matter of if, it becomes a matter of when. What if the very thing you've been trying to avoid is actually the thing that can transform your life? What if fear is not your enemy? What if fear is the doorway to the next level of your growth, success, and potential? Most people spend their entire lives running from fear. They avoid difficult conversations, postpone important decisions, and abandon ambitious goals because fear convinces them that staying comfortable is safer. But comfort has never created greatness. Comfort has never built dreams. Comfort has never changed lives. Every extraordinary achievement begins at the exact moment someone decides to move forward despite being afraid. Fear is one of the most misunderstood emotions in the world. People often see it as a sign that they should stop, turn around, or lower their expectations. They interpret fear as evidence that they are not ready, not qualified, or not capable enough. But the truth is that fear usually appears when you're standing at the edge of growth. It shows up when you're about to do something meaningful, something important, something that has the potential to change your future. Fear is not always a warning sign. More often, it is a signal that you're stepping beyond the limits of your current comfort zone. Think about the moments that shaped your life the most. The first time you took a major risk. The first time you stood up for yourself. The first time you pursued a dream that seemed impossible. Chances are, fear was present in every one of those moments. Yet those experiences became defining chapters in your journey because you acted anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action while fear is still whispering in your ear. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting to feel fearless before they take action. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel confident. I'll speak up when I'm ready. I'll pursue my dream when my fear disappears. But confidence doesn't arrive before action. Confidence is created through action. Every time you face something that scares you, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence that you can handle more than you thought possible. Imagine an athlete preparing for a championship. Do you think they never feel nervous? Do you think successful entrepreneurs never worry about failure? Do you think leaders never experience uncertainty? Of course they do. The difference is they don't allow fear to become the decision maker in their lives. They understand that fear and progress often travel together. The bigger the dream, the greater the uncertainty, the greater the opportunity, the greater the possibility of failure. But they also know that on the other side of fear lies growth, achievement, and transformation. Fear becomes dangerous only when it controls your actions. When fear is in charge, it convinces you to play small. It persuades you to settle for less than you're capable of achieving. It encourages you to choose temporary comfort over a long-term fulfillment. But when you learn to use fear as fuel, everything changes. Instead of seeing fear as a reason to stop, you begin seeing it as proof that you're moving towards something valuable. Instead of retreating, you advance. Instead of shrinking, you expand. The most successful people in the world are not fearless. They have simply developed a different relationship with fear. They understand that fear is temporary, but regret can last a lifetime. They know that the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of wondering what could have been. Every time fear appears, they choose to focus on the opportunity instead of the obstacle. They focus on the reward instead of the risk. They focus on the possibility instead of the problem. The next time fear shows up in your life, don't ask yourself, how can I avoid this? Ask yourself, what opportunity is hiding behind this feeling? Because fear is often pointing directly toward the life you want, the dream you're afraid to pursue, the goal you're afraid to chase, the challenge you're afraid to face may be the very thing that unlocks your greatest potential. The moment you stop running from fear and start using it as fuel, you begin discovering strengths, abilities, and levels of confidence that were hidden inside you all along. Have you ever noticed how many people spend years talking about the life they want, but never actually move closer to it? They have dreams, goals, ambitions, and endless plans, yet their reality remains unchanged. Why? Because ideas alone do not create results. Motivation alone does not create success. Even talent alone does not guarantee achievement. There is one factor that separates those who merely dream from those who actually accomplish extraordinary things. Action, not occasional action, not action when it's convenient, massive, consistent, relentless action. Here's a truth that many people don't want to hear. The world does not reward intentions. It rewards execution. You can have the most brilliant vision in the room, but if you never act on it, that vision remains nothing more than a fantasy. Every successful person you admire reached their destination because they were willing to do what others were unwilling to do. They took action before they felt ready. They moved forward before they had all the answers. They understood that progress is created through movement, not perfection. One of the biggest traps people fall into is overthinking. They analyze every possibility, every risk, and every potential obstacle. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect plan, and the perfect moment. But perfection is an illusion. The perfect moment never arrives. While they are busy preparing, someone else is busy doing. While they are waiting for certainty, someone else is building experience. While they are thinking about success, someone else is creating it. Imagine two people standing at the starting line of a marathon. One spends hours studying the route, reading books about running, and discussing strategies. The other begins taking steps forward. Who will reach the finish line first? Knowledge is important, but knowledge without action has no power. The ability to act consistently is what transforms potential into reality. Every great accomplishment in history was built through a series of actions, not a single dramatic moment. Many people underestimate the impact of small daily actions because they're focused on immediate results. They want success to happen overnight. They want one decision, one opportunity, or one breakthrough to change everything. But real success is usually built differently. It is built through the choices you make when nobody is watching. It is built through discipline on the days when motivation disappears. It is built through showing up repeatedly even when progress feels slow. Think about a powerful river carving its way through solid rock. It does not achieve that through one massive surge of force. It achieves it through continuous movement over time. The same principle applies to your goals. Consistent action, repeated day after day, creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates larger actions. Larger actions create greater opportunities. Eventually, what once seemed impossible begins to feel inevitable. The people who achieve remarkable success understand something that most people overlook. Action creates clarity. Many individuals delay moving forward because they don't know exactly what to do. They want certainty before they begin, but certainty rarely comes first. Clarity is often discovered through the process of taking action. Every step teaches you something. Every experience provides feedback. Every attempt reveals information that you could never gain by standing still. There will be moments when you feel tired. There will be days when progress seems invisible. There will be challenges that test your commitment and obstacles that make you question your path. In those moments, remember that persistence often matters more than intensity. You do not have to be perfect every day. You simply have to keep moving forward. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the future you want to create. Success is not reserved for the smartest people, the luckiest people, or the most naturally gifted people. More often than not, success belongs to those who develop the habit of action. The people who refuse to let fear stop them. The people who refuse to let excuses control them. The people who understand that every day presents an opportunity to move one step closer to their vision. When you commit to taking massive action, you stop wishing for a better future and start building one with your own hands. Every step forward becomes proof that you are no longer waiting for life to change. You are making it change. What if the event you've been calling a failure is actually the moment that is preparing you for your greatest success? What if the setback that disappointed you, embarrassed you, or made you question yourself is not the end of your journey, or the beginning of a stronger version of you? Most people fear failure more than they fear regret. They avoid risks, postpone dreams, and limit their potential because they are terrified of making mistakes. Yet the irony is that every person who's ever achieved something extraordinary has failed, often more times than anyone realizes. The difference is not that successful people avoid failure. The difference is that they refuse to let failure define who they are. Too many people make the mistake of turning an event into an identity. They fail at a business and begin calling themselves a failure. They experience rejection and begin believing they are not good enough. They encounter obstacles and start questioning their worth. But failure is something that happens. It is not something that you are. A setback is an experience, not a definition. The moment you separate your identity from your outcomes, you reclaim your power. Think about a child learning to ride a bicycle. Falling is part of the process. No one expects perfection on the first attempt. No one looks at a child who falls and says, maybe you're not meant to ride a bike. Yet when adults pursue goals, they often judge themselves harshly for every mistake. They expect instant success and immediate results when reality doesn't match their expectations. They become discouraged and quit. Growth doesn't work that way. Every skill, every achievement, and every breakthrough requires learning, adaptation, and resilience. The truth is that failure is one of life's greatest teachers. Success can show you what worked, but failure reveals what needs to improve. It exposes weaknesses, uncovers blind spots, and provides lessons that success alone can never teach. The people who grow the fastest are not those who avoid mistakes. They are the ones who learn from them. They ask better questions. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That simple shift in perspective transforms disappointment into development. Consider some of the greatest achievements in history. Behind every major success story is a trail of setbacks, rejections, and disappointments. Many successful entrepreneurs launched businesses that failed before they built thriving companies. Many best-selling authors faced countless rejections before finding publishers. Many elite athletes suffered defeats before winning championships. The world celebrates their victories, but it was their ability to keep going after failure that made those victories possible. One of the most dangerous things you can do is allow temporary setbacks to determine your future decisions. A single bad experience can create fear if you allow it to control your thinking. Someone experiences one rejection and becomes afraid to try again. Someone faces one loss and decides success is not meant for them. Someone encounters one obstacle and abandons a dream they were passionate about. But one event cannot determine your destiny unless you give it permission to do so. Resilience is not built during easy times. It is built during difficult moments. It is developed when things don't go according to plan. It is strengthened when you face challenges and continue moving forward anyway. Every setback you overcome increases your confidence because it proves that you are capable of handling adversity. Every challenge survived becomes evidence of your strength. Every failure faced with courage becomes a stepping stone toward future success. There will be moments when things don't work out the way you hoped. Plans will fail. Opportunities will disappear. Efforts may go unnoticed. But those moments do not determine your future. What determines your future is your response. Will you allow disappointment to stop you, or will you use it as fuel? Will you focus on what went wrong, or will you focus on what comes next? The people who eventually succeed are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who refuse to stay down after it. They understand that every setback contains a lesson. Every obstacle contains an opportunity, and every failure contains the possibility of a comeback that is greater than anything they could have imagined. What if the greatest obstacle standing between you and the life you want is not out there in the world, but inside your own mind? What if the biggest battle you'll ever fight is not against competition, circumstances, or limitations, but against the thoughts you allow to control your daily actions? Most people spend years trying to change their environment, their finances, their careers, or their relationships without realizing that every lasting transformation begins with a change in mindset. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of your thinking. If you want to change your results, you must first change the way you think. Your mind is one of the most powerful forces in existence. It can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. It can push you toward growth, confidence, and achievement, or it can trap you in fear, doubt, and hesitation every day. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts are shaping your decisions are shaping your actions are shaping your future. This is why controlling your mindset is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone who wants to achieve extraordinary results. Think about how many opportunities people miss simply because of the stories they tell themselves. They convince themselves they are not qualified enough, talented enough, experienced enough, or capable enough. Before they even try it, they've already decided they will fail. Their circumstances did not stop them. Their mindset did. The most dangerous limitations are not the ones imposed by the world. The most dangerous limitations are the ones you place on yourself. Here's something fascinating about the human mind. It tends to look for evidence that supports what it already believes. If you constantly tell yourself that success is impossible, your mind will focus on obstacles, problems, and reasons to quit. If you believe opportunities are available, your mind will begin searching for possibilities, solutions, and ways to move forward. The external world may remain the same, but your perception of it changes dramatically. And that perception influences every decision you make. Have you ever noticed that two people can face the exact same challenge and respond completely differently? One sees an obstacle and becomes discouraged. The other sees an opportunity to grow. One focuses on what could go wrong. The other focuses on what could go right. The difference is not the challenge itself. The difference is the mindset through which they interpret the challenge. The way you think about a situation often determines how you respond to it. And ultimately, the outcome you create. Negative thinking is especially dangerous because it often disguises itself as realism. People say things like, I'm just being practical, when in reality, they are allowing fear to dominate their perspective. They focus on worst-case scenarios, expect disappointment, and prepare for failure before the journey has even begun. The most successful individuals understand that mindset is something that must be trained daily. Just as athletes train their bodies, high achievers train their minds. They're intentional about what they read, what they listen to, who they spend time with, and what they allow themselves to believe. They understand that thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plant consistently will eventually grow. If you plant doubt, fear, and negativity, those qualities will dominate your life. If you plant confidence, gratitude, determination, and optimism, those qualities will begin shaping your reality. Controlling your mindset does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties do not exist. It means choosing a productive response regardless of the circumstances. It means refusing to let temporary setbacks define your future. It means focusing your energy on what you can control instead of obsessing over what you cannot. It means maintaining belief when results are delayed and staying committed when progress feels slow. Every great achievement begins with a thought. Every innovation starts as an idea. Every success story starts with someone deciding to believe differently than the people around them. The moment you take control of your mindset, you stop becoming a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your future. You begin to see possibilities where others see problems, and opportunities where others see obstacles, and solutions where others see excuses. That shift changes not only how you think, but how you act, how you perform, and ultimately how you live. What if the only thing separating you from the success you dream about is the amount of time you're willing to stay in the game? What if the difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who never reach their potential is not talent, intelligence, or luck, but persistence? It's a powerful question because most people underestimate the incredible force of staying committed when things get difficult. They admire success, but they rarely see the years of persistence that created it. They celebrate the victory, but they don't witness the countless moments when quitting would have been easier. The truth is, success often looks glamorous from a distance, but up close it is usually a story of persistence. Behind every achievement is a person who kept moving forward despite setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles. The world often sees the final result and assumes it happened quickly. What it doesn't see are the early mornings, the late nights, the failures, the rejections, and the moments of doubt that tested a person's commitment. Success is rarely built in a single moment. It is built through the decision to keep going long after the excitement of the goal has faded. Most people begin with enthusiasm. They start a new project, pursue a dream, launch a business, or commit to a goal with tremendous energy. In the beginning, motivation is high because the vision is exciting. But eventually reality arrives. Challenges appear. Progress slows down. Results take longer than expected. And this is where many people give up. They mistake difficulty for failure. They assume that because the journey has become harder, the dream is no longer possible. But the people who achieve greatness understand something important. Obstacles are not signs to stop. They are tests designed to reveal how badly you want what you're pursuing. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For weeks, nothing appears on the surface. If someone judged the process based only on what they could see, they might conclude that nothing is happening. Yet beneath the soil, roots are developing, strength is being built, foundations are being established. Success often works the same way. There are seasons in life when your efforts seem invisible. You work hard, stay disciplined, and remain committed, yet the results don't appear immediately. Those are the moments when persistence matters most. One of the greatest dangers on the path to success is the temptation to quit too early. Many people stop just before breakthrough. They abandon their goals because they become discouraged by temporary setbacks. They allow frustration to convince them that their efforts are wasted. What they fail to realize is that progress is not always visible. Growth is not always immediate. Some of the most significant transformations happen after long periods of patience, discipline, and consistent effort. Persistence is powerful because it creates momentum. Every day you continue, you become stronger. Every challenge you overcome increases your confidence. Every obstacle you face teaches valuable lessons that make you more capable of handling future challenges. The person who refuses to quit develops qualities that cannot be learned from books or seminars. They develop resilience, they develop discipline, they develop mental toughness. These qualities become assets that serve them throughout their lives. Have you ever noticed that many people quit at the first sign of resistance? They encounter criticism and stop. They experience rejection and retreat. They face failure and abandon their dreams. But the people who ultimately succeed have a different mindset. They understand that resistance is part of the process. They know that every meaningful goal will require sacrifice, effort, and perseverance. Instead of viewing challenges as reasons to quit, they view them as opportunities to grow stronger. The remarkable thing about persistence is that it doesn't require perfection. You do not need to be the smartest person in the room. You do not need flawless execution. You do not need unlimited resources. What you need is the willingness to continue moving forward. Some days your progress may be dramatic. Other days it may be small. What matters is that you keep taking steps. Small actions performed consistently over time create extraordinary results. Life has a way of rewarding those who refuse to surrender their vision. There will be moments when doubt tries to convince you to stop. There will be people who question your goals. There will be situations that challenge your confidence and test your patience. Yet every time you choose persistence over surrender, you strengthen your character and move closer to the future you desire. The people who win are often not the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the ones who remain committed when others walk away, who continue believing when others lose hope, and who keep taking action long enough for their efforts to finally produce the results they've been working toward. All their along. So when doubt whispers in your ear, answer it with belief. When fear tells you it's impossible, answer it with action. When challenges appear, answer them with determination. Refuse to let temporary circumstances define your permanent destiny. Refuse to let other people's opinions become your limitations. Refuse to settle for less than what you're capable of becoming. And as you leave here today, I want you to remember one powerful truth. You do not need to know exactly how everything will happen. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to take the next step with faith. The path reveals itself to those who keep moving forward. Believe that you can. Believe that you deserve it. Believe that you are capable of achieving it. And most importantly, believe that you will get it. Because the moment your belief becomes stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, and stronger than your doubts, your life will never be the same again. Stand tall, dream bigger, work harder, stay focused, keep moving forward, and never forget this powerful truth. If you believe that you can and will get it, then there is absolutely nothing that can stop a determined human spirit from turning a dream into reality. Thank you. And remember, the best is yet to come.